Good morning, humble practitioners. It's Lynn Shuck, and we are here again to look at a humble yoga practice. There's lots of ways we can look at this practice. We've done several, just observing things in that moment, trying to become self-aware of how you sit impacts how you function, looking at yoga poses. Those are all more immediate ways to practice, and that's what we've been doing. What I wanted to talk about today is ways in which we have larger practices that we're living that take a lot longer and are much more subtle. And I just want you to become aware of those as yoga practices. If you talk to yoga teachers, they'll talk about their newest yoga teacher being an injury or a challenge they're dealing with. So my yoga teacher for the last year has been a frozen shoulder. And many of you know that, and I've referenced the shoulder injury, adhesive encapsulitis, and it sucks. And last fall, the pain was shockingly horrible, and the range of motion was so minimal. And now I have way less pain. Doesn't take much to bring a little bit of it on, but it's such low-grade pain now. It's wonderfully improved. And my range of motion has improved a lot, but I'm nowhere near normal movement. For example, if I took my arms out in front of me, this arm goes all the way up, and this arm goes to there. And that's hard. And that's hugely improved from where I was last October when I couldn't even get my fingers out in front of me waist high. The day-to-day of that, though, feels like it's not changing. And there's a frustration level that comes with being in the day-to-day of something that you're living with that you want to change and not seeing how it's getting any better. And it might be a physical injury. It could be a challenge you're working through or a project you're working on that doesn't seem to end. As a teacher, I get to look at people and see them once a week over a period of weeks and months. And I do see those changes, and I can help them, my students, my clients, help them see how things have improved. But in your own life, it's way harder. You really have to stop yourself and go, okay, yeah, last fall I couldn't push a grocery cart, and today that doesn't bother me. Last fall I couldn't even move any of these boxes that we still haven't unpacked. And now the ones on the lower shelves, I can get those down. That's kind of big. That's a big deal. I couldn't even move them because I didn't have use of one whole arm. So here's my request to you this week is to look at something that's a bigger issue, not a pose that you work on for 10 seconds and see how it impacts you, or how you sit and see how that affects you, but look at some bigger issue, an injury, a project, a challenge you've had, a challenging relationship, something you've been working at changing. And notice the improvements that you've actually created. Take a moment to just see if you can compare where you were. And don't look back to last week. Look back months or even a year ago to where you were, just as a chance to give yourself perspective. That idea that this is a year of self-awareness doesn't mean just in the moment, but also being able to see how your history changes. Even though the moment you're in it, you're not seeing your whole history, you're just in the moment. But in order to see how changes do occur, sometimes it's okay to look back and just compare and experience how far you've come working towards whatever it is you're working toward. So that's my humble practice for you this week, a looking back and an assessing and a real celebration of changes that you're making. And now I'm going to see if I can unpack a box today. I'll see you next week.